Hi everybody, it's your girl Monique, and I'm coming to you today with another story time. So if you want to hear how I dropped a piano on my foot, then you definitely need to keep on watching. Alright, so what had happened was, anytime somebody starts a story, what happened was, it was some craziness going on. So at the time I was in high school, many years ago. And there was going to be like a big recital or situation going on in the auditorium. And I was put with the task, along with 3 others, to bring the stand-up upright piano down to the ground floor where the auditorium was, because the grand piano, which stayed in the auditorium, was getting tuned. And because it was like some kind of a musical thing going on, they needed a piano to practice with, so we were put to the task. So I don't know why the teachers and the administrators thought that us kids could bring that piano down with no mishaps. I don't know why they entrusted us with that, but they did. And we were able to get it on the elevator without incident and get it down from the 3rd floor down to the ground floor. And on the ground floor, there was a little ramp, and it would have put us on level floor with the auditorium. And most auditoriums, they have like stadium seating. It goes from low up to high, and we would have been able to push the piano all the way down the center aisle into the front. But because it was a ramp there, the ramp was made for wheelchair bound, and it also had grooves on it, so nobody that was walking down it wouldn't slip. And as we were pushing the upright piano down it, one of the wheels stayed put while we were still moving the upright piano. So we moved the piano over to the side. We got it off the ramp, but we can't move it any further without that 4th wheel. And so it was one of those rolling type of wheels with the straight metal pin sticking out of it. And so at first we tried to just stick it back up in there, but that didn't work. So somebody suggested, why don't we tilt the upright piano over to the side and see if we could stick the wheel in. And at the time it sounded like a great idea, so that's what we tried to do. So 3 of us tried to tilt it a little bit, and 1 of us tried to stick the wheel inside, but that didn't work because we needed to tilt it just a little bit more. So somebody was like, let's tilt it a little bit more, and to me it still sound like a reasonable idea, because obviously we can't move the piano any further without that 4th wheel, and trying to tilt it a little bit didn't work, so we tilted a little bit more. And by doing so, we did not realize how heavy the upright piano was. So we tilted it, and yes, we was able to get the wheel in. But one person out of the 3 of us was like, I cannot hold this anymore. And it was heavy. The weight of it, it was like it shifted on its own. And even though all of us dreaded that we were about to get in some major trouble, nobody could hold the weight of the piano. And so everybody was like, watch out, I can't hold it, let it go. So it was let go. And all you heard was this bell, and the clanging and the vibration of the keys echoing through the hallway. It was so loud. It had teachers coming out of their classrooms. It had the principal, the vice principal, the custodian coming out from wherever they were, people coming out of the office, people coming out of the auditorium to see what this loud clang was. And all I could think of was how much trouble we was in for knocking this piano over. Oh my God, that's all I could think of. And the sound did not stop. It was just echoing. And I was like, oh my God, I just couldn't fathom what was about to happen to the 4 of us. So with that being said, I kind of like went to move away from the piano, and I tried to move, but my foot wouldn't move. So I looks down and I says, the piano's on my foot. And a few of them was like, stop playing, girl. And I was like, I'm serious. The piano is on my foot. Now, at that particular moment, at that particular time, I did not feel it fall on my foot. And I didn't feel any pain. I didn't feel any true pain until I tried to yank my foot from underneath the piano, which did not happen. And all of a sudden I felt like a spread of burning sensation starting from my toe all the way up until my ankle. It just felt like somebody set a fire under my foot, and then I just started screaming like, the piano's on my foot. So the vice principal, a couple of the male teachers, the gym teacher, the custodian, it was like maybe 4 to 5 male adults came on one side of the piano and picked it up off of my foot, because that's how heavy it was. So the thought of these adult men, all of them having to come to one side just to lift it up a fraction off of my foot, just tells you how heavy that upright piano was and how we should not have tilted it in the first place. But either way, let's fast forward. I was taken to the nurse office, and the nurse, mistake number one, she shouldn't have took my shoe off. She took my shoe off and my foot blew up to the point that it was no way to get that shoe back on my foot. And of course she has to call my mom and explain to her what happened and what's going on. So my mom was like, put her on the, told her to put me on the phone, and she's asking me what's going on, and I'm sniffling and I'm telling her the piano fell on my foot and and she can hear the nurse in the background saying, I don't think it's broken. And my mom was like, how do she know it's broken or not? Did she take an x-ray? And I'm like, no, she didn't take no x-ray. And she was like, put that on the phone. And then all I heard from the nurse is, Miss, you don't have to speak to me like that. You don't have to use that kind of language. You don't have to curse at me and all that kind of stuff. My mom was pissed. She was so pissed. So what wind up happening is they went on ahead and a teacher went with me and took me to the hospital. And my mom met me there at the hospital. And come to find out, I did break my foot. I broke all the toes on my right foot except for my pinky toe. All my toes were broken. And they don't put cast on your feet, so they had to tape my toes together. I had pins sticking out my first, second, and third toe because it was broken in multiple places. And my toes ain't that jacked up, but yeah, that's how a piano fell on my foot in school. So if you like hearing story times like this, then don't be ashamed, don't be afraid, don't be discouraged to go ahead and hit that like button. If you like seeing videos like this, then keep on and go ahead and subscribe. I do videos all the time. I gotten better, didn't I, guys? And thank you so much for watching. I think I told you a hilarious story. I mean, how many people can walk around and say a piano fell on their foot? And girl, when I tell you this stuff, it be true, it be real life. These things have really happened to me. Tell me what crazy thing happened to you. Anything crazy thing happened to you, please leave that comment down below. Bye, guys.